back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And I don't even know what date it is. I'm so tired.
It's the 20th.
It's already the 20th?
I think so, yeah. Let me see.
Dang, January
Yes.
is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
So, happy January 20th. January is almost over already. No, I'm freaking out. I have things to do in our beginning of February, so... But anyway, welcome back. We hope you guys are having a great start of your new year. I assume all your resolutions are forgotten and you've just started living your life again. So that's about where we are, right? 3 weeks in, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, it was a good idea. Yeah. Who's going first? Eve?
Yes.
Okay.
I gave up trying to do resolutions long ago. Okay, so I finished the quilt top.
Oh, nice. It's so cute.
I chose this blue border because of all the blue kitties and squares.
Nice.
And now I just need to, quilt it.
Quilt it. Don't mix it.
I'm going to just not try to fold that again. You can't fold them when you're sitting down. So I was doing that, so I didn't do as much cross stitch as I necessarily. Plus, I was sick this week. My son very kindly shared his cold with me.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So today I will be working on Star Wars, Stormtrooper. And I've done some of it. You can't see the white that's in here. That I've gotten about that far around, and I started with this color right here. But I was working on it and then just went, I don't want to do that. Yeah. And then I told you last week that I decided to do Temperature Turtles by Stitch and Mommy.
I don't think you talked about it last week. You sent me a picture.
You talked about that.
You talked about that you were thinking about it.
Yeah.
But you hadn't. You were like, I'm still deciding.
Yeah.
No, because I had a whole week already.
Mm-mm.
No, last week you talked about that you were thinking about it, that you liked it, but you couldn't decide. And I think during
That was the week before.
Mm-mm.
I think during the week you
Anyway.
decided.
It was not last week. Maybe by the time you made your video, you talked about it. But last week here, because I remember this week you sent me a picture and I was like, oh, you did it.
By the 15th is when I did it, but right around the 15th, whenever that was.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You'll tell us the truth. Loyal
Temperature
viewers.
Turtles by Stitch and Mommy. And when I did my video, I was like, I can't find this thread. I have to go buy it. I know I have them, okay? I know I do.
You didn't say you didn't have it. You said you couldn't find it.
Because my thread stash says I have it. Well, most of this week was all the same color because like the color ranges on the turtles is not as short as the one I did last year, so it covers more temperatures. And so this week they were all basically the same color. Theoretically, I have that color. Mm-hmm. I have spent so much time looking for that color, I could have stitched 3 turtles. Okay, so here's where I am.
Oh, that's nice.
Cute.
And I have the temperatures written down, and it's going to start circling into the middle. So I have the temperatures written down.
Is each turtle a month?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And there's instructions how to squeeze in another day for the leap year day.
Oh.
Which I'm going to have to do.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I chose this blue fabric you know, because instead of the white like on the picture,
Uh-huh.
because it's a sea turtle.
Yeah.
They need to be on blue.
Let me see the chart.
I was looking at the chart and go, yeah, my turtle isn't going to have any blue on it. Nothing that
did
even
you
looks-
adjust it down like you did, or up like you did the other?
Well, it actually had an extreme one.
Oh,
So the
okay.
high temperature said anything above, I think it says 110.
Mm.
I thought, or maybe it said 115. I don't know. But I thought, you know,
Okay.
that'll be all right. So one turtle, you know, his back will be all the same color. You know, it's all right.
And so, how do you decide the edge colors? Is that also by days?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So the way that this is done, I actually have it on my tablet instead of a physical chart, because on my last one, every single day looked the same. You just used a different thread, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't even use the chart
Yeah. You just.
to stitch it, right? But this one, each day, like this was one. This was the first, right here
see.
by his tail.
Oh.
And each day there's a few more stitches around.
Oh, so it's like a spiral.
And then you go toward the top, toward the back, the middle of the back. So it shows you, you know, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D. You right? So you just start circling around inside, and I would be far more done with this turtle if I could have found that thread. But and the thing is that in August I was working on a Phoenix Biscornu, and that thread is in that pattern, and I used it. Is it in that project bag? No. Which tells me I needed it for something else, right?
Yeah.
Except I don't know what that something else was.
You guys looking for threads is like me looking for needles. I'm like, I know I used a size 2 somewhere. Where is it?
So eventually I'll have all the threads and I won't be mad. Okay, probably not.
You'll be mad about something else.
Yeah. Yeah, doing it wrong. So then I did some work on, this is one of my WIP-GO calls for January. This is Black Cat by Cross Stitching for Fun. And I am not done with this cat. I expected to be far more done. But that's how far I've gotten.
Okay. Oh, that's
Cute.
pretty good.
So
Did you have a goal of so many days or?
10 days. And I'm working on them both at the same time. So, you know, I'll be having all month, so it's okay. I was hoping to get this done this month. We shall see. We shall see. Because just like with the quilt, you know, I'd work on it for a while, and then I was just like, I just can't do this anymore. Yeah, like I said, I did not feel good this past week at all. And then, you know how some colds, you just like, I don't want to use my eyes.
Yeah.
At all. And I mean, I wasn't horribly sick. It was most like head colds, you know, sniffling and sneezing. But my eyes were just like, I felt like they were peeled onions or something, you know. I'm like, I don't want to do that. All right. You don't care about that. Okay. So then I worked some on strawberry for the berry basket hands-on design. Oh, the cat, I never say what fabric that is because I have no idea. It's 14 count something. And at one point I knew what this fabric was, but I no longer do. I have the package somewhere still. I just cut a piece off of it. But this is how far I've gotten. I talked about the mistake I made where
The thing was upside down.
Well, it wasn't upside down. It was just pointed on both ends instead of flat. You know, where it need to be flat. And after looking at it and thinking about it, I said, "This isn't for the state fair," and I just went over it, and I can see where it is, but not so badly that I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can't do that." I can see where it is, and it's fine. I'm fine, and I'm just gonna.
Yeah, we're all fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pull it out. And I've started putting in the darker parts of the berries, and I just really like the way they look.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
It's cute.
yeah, when I first used that light green color, I didn't find any trouble seeing it against the fabric, because you can actually see it. You know, it's not, you know, it's lighter, but it's not, so it's not the same color as the fabric, and, you know, and all that. But this past week, I'm like, where's that stitch? I can't see what I'm working on. And I don't, you know, today it's not cold out.
I think it's cold out. Have you been out?
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, it's not cold like
It's
it was.
cloudy.
But it is so cloudy, and it
It's
looks. If I still lived in Florida or New Mexico, I would think that there was going to be lots of rain and
It
storms.
said it was supposed to rain at noon, but it never
You almost said snow.
I guess I did.
Yeah, but and maybe that's why I was having trouble seeing, because we have had a lot of clouds, but there was 2 days when it was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was in the 70s.
it was upper 70s, I think. I know. Ask me how I know. And I pulled this out for one day. My needle minders are sticking together. This is Loops and Threads, Watercolor Trees. Oops, I'm holding it too high. Watercolor Trees, which for some reason they don't put the name on the front of the packaging. It's on the instructions. And I'm using this impossible to see thread over here. And I started going off to this one because this tree right here doesn't have very many of them. So, and I think that might be the last tree over there that uses that color, maybe. I don't know, possibly. I just thought they're so close. I'll just go ahead and go across. But I really have to concentrate when I use that color because it's almost white on white, and I don't enjoy it. And then I decided to do cross stitch camp, winter cross stitch camp that starts February 1st. And since I want to do this anyway, it's something with an animal in it. I'm going to do this berry, Christmas Berry by Eric Michaels.
Cute. The big one? Bigger one?
Yeah, this little one's, you know, if I do it on even 32 count, it would be gigantic. Okay, because it's meant for silk gauze.
Oh.
And I'm going to use this, this is Lugana Splash Mint with white dot that I bought at the attic. This 32 count fabric, like I said, it's a Lugana. I thought about using a linen that I have that's blue. I did the snowman berry on that, and that I find it so hard to stitch on, just because it frays and it's so lightweight and all that. I really, really don't like it. But I found that I really, really like Lugana, so that's what I'm going to stitch it on. Last time I used it, it was for the flamingo thing. And then I needed some threads, and at Hobby Lobby, to get to the cross stitch, you need to pass fabric.
Oh no.
And I saw these fabrics. The first one I noticed were these dogs. Yeah, cute.
You're cute.
Oh my gosh. Those corgis with sweaters.
It's all it's different kinds of dogs. I
stealing
think
your lotion.
they might all be. No, see, here's a Boston Terrier. Here's a poodle. Is that a lab? I don't know. Anyway, it's different dogs. Dalmatian. With the hearts and stuff. And I got this fabric to go with them.
That's cute.
But then I saw this.
Gnomes. Let me see. So cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Gosh, somebody got you a really cute gnome bag.
yeah,
Sandbag.
these are all different kinds of gnomes, and they say EXO, and
Cute.
Those are really cute.
yeah. But I couldn't find a fabric that I really liked with them, so I decided to do them with those same hearts. That is
Okay. I'm going second. Okay, so in order of old news and newer news, we'll go that way. So old news, my Musselburgh hat is probably about the same as it was, maybe a little bit longer than last week. I didn't do much because I'll show you. So I was working on it. I've been working on it pretty steady. I work on it at lunchtime, if I can. And
Every time you say Musselburgh, I'm torn between the thought of mussels and mussels like
okay.
shellfish.
I'm sorry for your crazy, weird brain. I told you that I decided to knit Hannah a
sweater.
cardigan, a Fair Isle cardigan, and I ordered the yarn, and I showed you the yarn that I ordered. But while I was waiting for it to come, when I was at home, I decided, I did talk about this last week. I decided to keep working on my gray office sweater. So that's what we have here. I think I added maybe 20 rows since last I brought it. So it's getting there. So it's just a thick gray sweater. It's supposed to get to 27 inches, I guess. I don't know where I am. On it, but
excuse me.
I haven't measured in a while, but there's that. I've been working on that just by the TV. So that's been nice. And then the yarn was supposed to come. Oh, and I showed this last week, right? Tim's sock?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I made one sock, right? And the yarn was supposed to come on Friday. But instead, it came on Wednesday? Yeah, came on Wednesday. And I had been talking about it with my boss a lot, and I texted her a picture of the box. I'm like, I'm staying home tomorrow. She knew I was joking. But it did come, and it's gorgeous. And I cannot wait. Let me move all this junk. That's my little scrap of waste yarn. So as a reminder, here's the picture of the sweater. Where is it? Oh. Darn it. Here's the picture of the sweater that I'm making. The dark bands, let me get I have a close-up of better close-up of all the colors involved. So the dark, it looks like black in that picture, but it's dark green and cream colored. That will be, dun, 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 dun.
Ouch.
This color called Bittersweet, which is a very dark chocolate, like bitter chocolate color, and Oatmeal Heather, which is very cream contrasted, it looks white, but it's a very cream color. Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm. That's pretty.
I was looking.
And then the
Nice and soft.
red and gold section of the sweater is going to be, dun, 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 dun. It's called Bison and Camel Heather. These two colors. Not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And I was worried when I
These
bought
colors
them.
look so nice together.
I was really worried when I bought them that they would not contrast enough. Beth still doesn't know how to use her phone.
I put it on silent.
Well,
Apparently not.
apparently not. So let me show you what I did. I was like, I've got to swatch this right now. And I really wanted to make a good quality swatch so that I could measure it. And here is, oops, upside down. Here's the swatch. I'm going to put a close-up photo here of the, it's this portion right here of the pattern. Because I thought this shows all four colors. And it'll see how these two react and if there's enough contrast, if these two look good together. I didn't want to do this section because I wanted to also incorporate the dark and light. So this is the swatch. I think, and actually so I knitted it. I knitted it in the round, although you see that it's flat because I knitted it like this. I don't have a picture of it before I cut it apart. You knit it and you take you take the threads around the back and start again at this side and keep going like that. So it's really a big mess when you do it. And then I cut it apart so that it would lay flat, and I blocked it. I only steam blocked it. I didn't like completely soak it and dry it because I was very impatient and I really wanted to see it. But I steamed it, held the steamer over it and let it, and kind of pinned it flat while it dried out. But even after steam blocking, the characteristics change so much, and it really has laid into itself. I can imagine that soaking it would even do that even more. But it also, I don't know if you see the drape, it's really surprising because I thought with the, it's a double layer of knitting basically because you have the stitches on this side and back here you have the floats that go, so as you use a yarn here and then you don't use it for a few stitches, it floats behind, and that's what all those lines are. And you have to work hard to get your tension in such a way that those don't pucker and that they're not too loose either. So I think I was kind of really jazzed. It's like looking at the back of a cross stitch, Mm-hmm. I'm really jazzed by how
like they say,
how
show
well
me your backside.
Yeah. But I'm also very intrigued by this drape because while I was knitting it, I thought, well, this might be like a really thick, heavy cardigan, but it's really not. I think it's going to be really nice. So look at that. Feel it. Feel how soft it is. Eve,
Wow.
Feel how soft it is. And that's 100% non-superwash. It's like real 100% Peruvian wool. No chemicals. It's like organic.
It's like wearing an alpaca.
I know, but it's not.
Like
it's
having
wool.
a llama on you.
I know, it's wool.
So how come in Peru the sheep are softer?
I don't know. But I think this is going to be beautiful. And I think I told you, like, I'm probably going to have way too much yarn, so I'll probably make hats and things too from it. But I think the contrast in the colors, as you can see up here at the top, I think it's really going to work very well. So the whole top of the sweater, this area, oh, sorry, the light, this area is going to be this bison and camel color together, and I think it's going to be very subtle but really pretty. And I'm excited. I'm so excited, and I have refrained from casting it on because I'm like, I have some other things to do, and I have to get my brother's socks and his girlfriend's socks done because I got to mail those out. And I'm like, when I get all those things done,
Especially since my gifts were Christmas ornaments.
I know.
I should have mailed it myself.
You should have mailed it yourself, honestly, but it's fine. Christmas will come next year. And it's okay. Extend Christmas. So this morning, I told Mark, I gotta go in and work on Tim's second sock. And he goes, that's the name of your fiber business. Tim's second sock. And I said, that's really good, especially since I have a very bad case of second sock syndrome when I'm hand knitting socks, you know. I never finished the second one. So I did Tim's second sock this morning. This is his second sock, but I was so engrossed in the video that I'm watching, the video series I'm watching right now, which is, it's on HBO Max. It's the Curious Case of Natalia Grace.
Oh yeah.
I'm like fascinated. Anyway, because I was watching that, I forgot to. So what you're supposed to do is you cast on with ravel cord. With waste yarn, and then you put in a ravel cord, just one round, and then you start your sock yarn. And I completely forgot the ravel cord. So I got on Facebook. I'm like, what do I do if I forgot the ravel cord? And they said, you probably saw me with scissors. You cut it off of this is the setup on it, right? You cut it off of here, and then unravel it from the top down, and it's fine. So I was like, oh crap. But anyway, that show was fascinating. So it's done. I finished it. I started it last night and finished it. Did I start last night? No. I started it this morning, and I got to the heel, and then I had to run an errand, and I came back, finished the foot and the toe, and now I just need to Kitchener stitch the toe shut, and that will be that. And I think that's literally all I've done. I assume that I will have very little willpower this week, and I will wind up casting on that cardigan. So next week we'll see the start of it. It's very interesting because one of the things that she teaches in that book is steeking, and this pattern has steeks in it, and what that is
I thought you said stinking.
Steek with an E-E-K, S-T-E-E-K. You knit, so it's a cardigan, right? It's open in the front, but this you knit in the round like a pullover sweater, and in the center you knit like it's almost like a grid. You just you do the pattern up to a point, and then you knit, alternating doot, or if it's a one color row, you just knit. But there's I don't know, 10 extra stitches in the center right here. And then because it's real wool and real wool that's not super, I don't mean real, I mean not superwash wool. Superwash wool, as I explained last time, the scales are taken off chemically. In natural wool, they're left on, so they grab, and that's why they felt. That's why you can't put stuff in the washer and that kind of stuff. That's why it turns into felt, because it has scales that grab each other. So if you're using that kind of wool, then when you cut up that steek, that center section, and you reinforce it because you're not stupid, but it sticks together and it doesn't come undone. And that's why, on these edges, even though these are loose, they're not going to come apart. And if I were to give this a little bit more time, these edges will just felt together. Anyway, so what's nice about that is that you change colors right there in the middle of that steeking section. And so all these ends that you would normally have to, weave in at the end, they all just get cut off in the steek. So that's really kind of cool. Anyway, that's me. I'm done.
I'm making a mess right here. Hang on.
I think that's everything I have to talk about.
Right.
Oh, wait. While you're fixing your mess.
Messing.
I did have one other little piece of haul. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, when I ordered that wool from Knit Picks, I did. Okay, I forgot to show. Here's the picture of it all in the chair, and Hobbs looking at it because he wants to eat. Anyway, when I ordered that, I was like, I've been wanting a tool, and for my future hand knitter program, which I haven't done anything on. I did go through and locate on my old computer all my old files, so I did that. But I was like, I need cable needles, and so I ordered these from Knit Picks. They're the Caspian coloring, which I think is the knitting needles I got for Hannah. It's this green wooden, really pretty. I'll show a close up.
Sorry.
And I've never used these kind of cable needles. Most cable needles have like a little hook in them. These just have notches, which will keep them from sliding out of your stitches. So with a cable needle, you knit along, and then you slip a couple stitches on a needle like this, and you either hold it to the front if you want to cable to go to the left, or you put it to the back, I think, I can't remember. But anyway, I need to learn more about cables. But anyway, you hold them to the front or back depending on how and then you hold them to the front, and you knit the next ones in line, and then you pick this up and knit these two. So they crisscross, and that's what makes cables in knitting. So anyway, that's what these are for. And this is my little bit of haul that I was like, since I'm already ordering all this yarn, I'll tack this little needle set on to that. So that's me. Are you done yet?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. I'm just going to put in this.
I thought you said you were done.
I just want to put this thread
You're
in the
not
back.
ready.
Okay. So I'm just right now. I'm working more on this. Since last time I finished the number 3 of the Black Cat season, I'm working on number 4 now. So it says this is called House Panther, and so right now it starts off with the words beware.
Let's put this down a little bit because we can't see everything you're doing.
So I'm just working on this.
Turn the bee on.
And this is by Lindy Stitches, Black Cat season. This is number 4, beware. It's called House Panther, which is what is commonly applied to black cats. They're either called house panthers or voids.
Or 310.
Yeah, so 310, like in the
That's funny.
what was that? Keepsakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call the black cat 310. So that's my side project. But so my last time I had finished my number 9 WIP-GO call, which was the Seahorse Soiree, and number 22, which is the other number called, was the Bear from Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods.
Which is also a very good show on Hulu, just saying.
So last time I worked on this last year, I had done just these little cattail fronds in one of the colors in the frond here, and like a couple of the cattails in the corner. So oops, the threads here in a pile because I was working on this earlier. So I was like not quite finished with this frond here, and so I finished this and added this one, and then I got to the bear. So I did kind of a lot on the bear with this one main color, and then just the other day I did the darker color here. But yeah, so that's coming along, and I've only done about, I think yesterday was the 4th day out of 7. So I still have some work to do on this. So I'm gonna keep working on that. So that's the bear. Let me get these threads here so I don't lose them. And then I also, as my secondary WIP-GO thing, was Snowy Reindeer, and this is from the Frosty Forest season by Country Cottage Needleworks. And So I think last time I started this like I think for Mania or something, and I had done just this big snowflake in the middle. And I found out when I was working on this that I did that snowflake in the wrong place. This one little single stitch snowdrop thing is, I did a center start, and that little drop was what I started with, because that was like closest to the center, and then this snowflake above it I stitched, and when I was stitching these other snowflakes, I got over here and I realized, well, that's somehow, and I thought, well, maybe I miscounted it. So I counted it again, and I wasn't. I think I'm half a square off on this, and I thought, well, did I do all of this wrong? Which meant I did the reindeer wrong and all this stuff, and then I realized the reindeer I counted off from this one, and this is in the right place. So it's this big big snowflake I did that was in the wrong place. I think between the single snowdrop and the beginning of the snowflake is where the error was.
But you're not.
But
gonna,
I'm not.
I was gonna say, you're not going to move that snowflake, are you?
It doesn't matter. No,
Okay,
no. I'm not going to move it. But so I did the little reindeer, and the reindeer are actually complete. I think I even did their little French knot. Colonial knots. Did their little eyes. This one, if you look closely at it, you can see it. But yeah. But then I did the little tree fronds here, and then I started working on this snow across the bottom. And really, I was looking at this later, and I was thinking I should have done it this way, so that because the snow would show up better on this where the coloring is. But
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
yeah, but it's okay. I like it like this. If I had done this way, the more of this would have been in the pattern and would have shown up better, because there's like a little garland of holly or whatever across the top, and I thought, I'm gonna end up cutting all of this off, which is really pretty, but it's a nice shade of purpley blue anyway. So that was thought. And then the other thing I was working on was this owl trio. It's a dimensions kit. The designer is Jennifer Nilsson. But so I'm almost done with this first owl, the middle owl. I just have the wings to go, and they're basically just solid of this orange color. And so, and there's a little bit of back stitching, and there's a whole bunch of French knots down here. And actually, there's kind of a lot of back stitching as well, now that I think about it. But I also want to do, there's like one other brown color on this branch here, and it shows up here and there in other little branches. But when I do that, this branch will be basically done once I do that other color. But so yeah, that's one of the 3 owls is done. And then last week we went to the attic, and I talked about this on my update, but not this one. So I bought 2 patterns, because I went to get to the attic to get 2 colors that I needed for the piece I'm doing for Winter Cross Stitch Camp. And then for this pattern, the green of these trees here is a Gentle Arts color shutter green. And I thought briefly about looking for, doing it with a DMC alternative, that I think it's in the pattern, they provide that. But I wanted to use the Gentle Arts color. So when we went to the attic, I got those 3 colors that I needed. And while we were at it, while I was looking around, I got 2 patterns. So this one is Una Owl, and this is by the Artsy Housewife. She also did a pattern that I have called Byron Blackbird that I bought. I don't know when I bought it last. during Marketplace, or I think not Jingle Ball. I think I bought it before that, so it would have been Marketplace. So
That's cute.
she did this Una owl. I saw that at the attic. It was really pretty. It's not full coverage, so it's not too bad. It's like 122 by 103 is the pattern size, but there's a lot of empty space there. And it uses Classic Colorworks, Gentle Arts, and Weeks. And I think I have some of them, but not all of them. And I didn't even look at it when I was at the attic, because it's a good thing, because I would have bought, as it was, I spent enough money. But the other thing I bought was this ink circles pattern called Spring Snow. And I'll have a picture of it, but it's really, really pretty.
That's cute.
There's reindeer and rabbits or deer, not reindeer. Deer, rabbits, and squirrels. And I think these are birds. Maybe not. I don't know. Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. And trees, and it's
looks really small.
just really pretty.
Is it really, really tiny?
No, it's big. It's about. But I had seen at the attic, they have a little ink circles area, and I had seen the model of this stitched, and I thought it was really pretty. But I think I asked once about it, and because I didn't see the pattern there, and they didn't seem to have it, and they offered to order it for me, but I was like, yeah, it's okay, because at the time I was spending money on other things, and so every once in a while I would look at it, but they never had the pattern, and I think I even looked on Ink Circle's website at one point, and I think they had this pattern, but I couldn't remember the girl. When I talked to the woman there, she wasn't quite sure what the name of it was, and I wasn't sure when I looked at the website. I thought, well, I think that's the way I remember the picture, but I don't know for sure. So I hadn't ordered it online either. But this time, when I was at the store, they had this the pattern, and I looked at it. And I looked at the model, and I looked at this, and I thought, oh, that's it. So I had to get it. So
now, see, that's the way you buy something.
and
Think about it for a while.
Yeah, and this is Gentle Arts colors also. So yeah, so that's and again, I have some of these, but not. I don't think I have all of them, but I'm not sure. So. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I just grabbed them. So, and the other thing I bought was a bottle of this Stitcher's lotion. Except the I didn't even look at the scent very closely. I just saw blackberry and something. I didn't look at it. I thought, oh, I like that. So I grabbed it and I bought it. And then it's blackberry and vanilla. And
I'll take it. If you don't want it.
No, I
hate vanilla.
I don't like vanilla so much, but because my nose doesn't function properly since my surgery, I thought that might work anyway. I might go ahead and use it. So I don't know, but I think that's me.
All right. So I forgot another reason I didn't get tons and tons done is that I spent a couple days not knitting this week.
Oh yeah.
Right after we recorded, not the next day, I went to use a screwdriver and had my hand like this, and I have a lot of inflammation and stuff, but I was using a lot of force, and I felt something. I felt like I didn't hear an audible pop, but I felt like something popped here, and it just killed all the way down. And then I'm like, I think I really messed up my finger, and I couldn't use my hand, and then it really was focused on this finger. Couldn't bend my hand.
And she tells me,
it.
She says, I'm really scared I won't be able to knit. I'm like, I would be more afraid of not being able to drive or type or all those things.
No, I knew all that was going to be impacted, but it was like really bummed because I had all these plans and I had ordered that yarn for hand, you know what I mean, like. But
I mean, it's funny what goes through your mind.
Yeah.
When you injure yourself. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to, and it's something that like you can wait to do.
Yeah, but it's better. Medication and stuff. It's getting better. So I see a doctor next week, but it's still like tingly and weird. And as the medication is titrating down, it's starting to hurt more.
Oh, they gave you on a
Yeah.
decreasing dose?
Yeah, so it's starting to ache a little more now, and I'm like, ooh, well. But I was able to play by Tuesday night. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty painful. But
Well, the reason that she was using a screwdriver, I get a phone call. I have a bigger car than she has. We have similar cars, but the back of mine's bigger, and the seats lay down and stuff. I don't know if hers down. And I get a phone call, and she's like, Eli just bought a bike, and I was just wondering if you could help us take it.
So I was helping him, like, with the brakes and stuff. And,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
so that was my adventure this week, was like, I don't think I can use my hand.
I
And
just
then
think it's so wonderful that Eli was able to find a bike he liked,
Yeah.
because he'd been wanting a bike for a long time.
It's good.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, a couple days into this injury, I'm like, I picked this little hat up, I pulled it out of the bag. I was like, I can kind of knit as long as I don't grab it too hard or whatever. So, but
when
that's been my therapy.
ever since I was in graduate school, and also in the symphony later, that musicians are very prone to overuse injuries and things like that. And in graduate school, almost everybody you met had some kind of tendonitis, whatever. And
Well, somebody at work was like, "Well, maybe you're knitting too much." I'm like,
yeah,
that's
like
not why it happened.
at the student health center, which we called the student death center.
Yeah.
They would tell you, like at one point I had an overuse thing because I was getting ready for my graduate recital, and it was just a lot of music. And one of the things you have to learn how to do when you're playing is learn how to relax your hands, because I know for me, one of the things is, okay, this is a very technical passage and I have to play it, and I can't play it until you tense up like this, and that's like absolutely the worst thing. And so you have to really learn to relax. And I really didn't learn that until later, learn how to put the tension somewhere else in your body or whatever. But so in graduate school, we all had inflammation issues and we're taking ibuprofen or whatever. But I remember at the student health center, they told me, well, could you play less? And I'm like, no, because I have my recital coming up.
And the thing is that if you go to an orthopedic person and they ask what your lifestyle is, and and if you're a musician, you're going to do it. And and if you're an athlete, you want to be an athlete.
Yeah.
And so they don't tell you, well, you can't do that. It's finding a way to help you do that, like icing your hand afterward, or stuff like that. And I can remember reading stories about, it seems to happen to drummers mostly because they have to grip the stick so hard, that after playing big gigs and stuff like that, they have to plunge their hands into ice.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
icing it was painful, and I was like, I did not want to do this. But like somebody said, well, because you're knitting so much. I'm like, no, it's a byproduct of everything else, but it's not because of knitting. It's not, and I'm not going to stop. So figure that out.
Well, when I was in the symphony, like it seemed like at one point, like every other person you talked to had rotator cuff surgery or some things like that. And there was one lady who she was a viola player, and she was doing like step aerobics at her house. And, so she had the little step, and she was stepping up and stepping down, blah, blah, and she fell backwards, and she put her hands behind her back like this to brace herself, and she broke both her wrists.
ouch.
Yeah, so she was like, she had her hands, she didn't show up at rehearsal with her hands in a cast or anything. She missed, several things because she couldn't play. but then like little by little, you know,
How do
chew.
you do? I
Yeah.
would, so I was like, I don't know.
How do you
I don't
do
know how to
anything with growth?
I just-
Yeah. Yeah, and so you know, but yeah, so as musicians, you know, you're always really aware of things like, you know, like your mouth, like your hands, you know.
Like you in the ice with Hannah, you're like, don't fall and hurt your hands.
Yeah.
I always joke with her, don't slip on the ice.
When I was in junior high, I had a band director. He was really good, but I think it was when I was in high school that this happened. So I wasn't in school with him anymore. But he had a glass screen door, you know, glass for
He had a storm door.
Yeah, and he went to, I think it was closing, and he went to put his hand out like this to stop the door or whatever, and I think the glass, he thinks that it had maybe a crack in it
He
already.
said the
or
glass
something.
just broke and came
But,
like a guillotine down on
it came
his
down
hand.
and
arm.
and hit him in the arm, but he was lucky that I think he was saying that something like it seemed like he had you know, because it hit him like on his arm here, and he was a trombone player, and he was concerned that he wouldn't, you know, that like, you know, severed a nerve or whatever, you know, and that he wouldn't be able to not only operate the well, I think the slide he did with this hand, but he had a trigger, you know, that he did with this hand, and so he was concerned about the nerves in his arm.
He was left-handed.
But yeah, but apparently like he had like I'm gonna say a double set of nerves or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And he didn't know if that was from the act of playing that he had developed. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so it's very concerning because, you know, you think about that, you know, nerve damage.
Yeah.
I remember when he
inflammation,
was
things like
talking
that.
about the accident. He was heading out of his house when it happened. So of course he went in, and the wife is calling 911, and they're trying to stop the bleeding and all that stuff. So he was in the house, and the paramedics came, and they came inside, and they wanted to take him in an ambulance, but they couldn't get the stretcher out the door because the way his house was, you had to like make a tight little corner,
geez.
like a tight little corner to get out. And so they had him on the stretcher, and they're like, yeah, we can't do this. And so he had to get off and walk outside, and then they put the stretcher outside, and then he could get back on. And you know, a lot of times, especially older homes, and I don't know if his was old or not, but they're not
They're
built with
Oh my gosh.
things like that in mind, and you know,
Yeah, they're not compatible with wheelchairs and things like that. Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, I completely forgot. I don't know, but well, you know, I was also concerned because that happened on Sunday, and I had rehearsal on Tuesday, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to play. But by the time the meds kicked in, I was able to.
well, fortunately, you were able to get in to see a doctor.
Yeah, I got in to see a
Monday.
doctor and everything.
Oh, phew.
I was gonna say, I didn't tell you guys this. For a different reason, I had an MRI this week, and I was in there, and super long test, and you have to like breathe and stuff, so you can't let's go to sleep. And so I didn't want to mess it up, you know. I didn't want to be like, I have to stop, and I got an itch right here on my eyebrow, and it was itching so bad, and I'm like I'm smart enough. I can will this away with my willpower. And so I'm like, I gotta think of something else. I can't think about this itch. So I'm like, okay, I started thinking about Hobbs. And I was like, okay. Well, first I was like, maybe if I wiggle my toe or if I scratch the side of the bed with my finger, it'll feel like no, that didn't work. So then, because I was still thinking about the itch. So then I started thinking about something completely different. And it kind of faded. And I was like, I am a super person. And then I started, you know, I didn't have my glasses on, but I started getting an itch like on my face right here. and my eye, and on the side of my nose, and I'm like, it's gonna make me sneeze, and I'm in there going. So I'm like, how can I scratch? You know, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna sneeze, and it's gonna mess everything up. I'm gonna start over, and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like trying to think about like, okay, Hannah's performance that she just did last November or December or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to re-listen to that in my mind and completely take my mind off the thing. Anyway, so this happened like 2 or 3 times. I was like sheer willpower, getting rid of itches on my face, and I was so proud of myself. Well, and also, you know, your back and this, and like, oh, I really feel an itch here on my back, or you know how it is, and then you start going crazy, and you're thinking about it all, and you're like, so I get out, and I tell the tech, I'm like, I got rid of 3 face itches by sheer willpower, and he was like, oh my gosh, you're great, and he said, he goes, there's a guy in there once that, he goes, you know, people hallucinate all the time, and we just go with it, like we don't argue with that, whatever. So then he's like, but this one guy came out and he said there was a spider and it was trying to get on my face. And he was like, okay, yeah. And then he goes, but then it turned out there really was a spider in the MRI too.
They looked at the pictures and went, there's a spider there.
And he was like, we had to spray the whole room. What are you doing? Oh, come here, honey. Come here, Rogue. I think she's just talking about. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hi, honey. Come here. Come here.
Get over there. Get over there. She's underneath me.
Come here, bro.
She knows you want to take
her
it from her.
tailbone. Here, she's facing you.
Come here,
Her
baby.
tail is right here.
You got her?
Oh, that's very naughty. That's very naughty.
How did that get on the ground?
It probably got knocked off
Maybe
of
got
that.
knocked out. Whoop.
Maybe she's saying you dropped the pillow.
You brought the pillow because we dropped it. You're such a good dog. Thank you. Okay, good girl for giving it up. That's good. You're so naughty.
That reminds me, I have an MRI this year sometime. I had to schedule it, but I usually I've had an annual MRI, you know, since my surgery, and last year, not last year, but I guess in 22, my doctor that I go to regularly said, I think you can, you know, wait until 2024 to have another MRI. So I have to do that at some point this year. Yeah. But you know, mine are always a pain because I have to have an X-ray first, and then the MRI, which takes forever. And you know, and lying, but fortunately, like I know some people when I lived in Little Rock who were like, you know, just, you know, hated taking MRIs because it's you know, some people are very claustrophobic, and of course it's very loud. Because, you know, you would think that in this day and age with MRIs they could do something about the noise, but you lie there and it goes bang, 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 you know. And so so I've actually gotten where like I do things in there that, you know, for one thing I close my eyes, so I don't really, you know, it doesn't, the whole thing doesn't affect me so much. There's some people that I know that like put a washcloth or something over their face, and I'm like, that would make it worse to me if you had a thing on your, you know. But so yeah, I have, you know, my eyes closed and I sit there and like count the little, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, you know.
That's what I was doing too.
I have to like try not to move, you know. I have my head and the little thing there. The only thing that I ever felt claustrophobic about during the whole ordeal, I had radiation treatments before I had the surgery. So I had radiation treatments first. And, but in order to do that, I had like 30 days of treatment. And so I would just go and it would take like maybe 30 minutes or something. And then I, you know, could go to work, whatever. But before I had it, to prepare for it, I had to have a mask made so I could, you know, lie in the bed and they snap you in place and so you don't move. So I had to have this mask made. And so in order to do that, they use like a melty plastic that they heated up in hot water, and then they put it on your face, and it, you know, molds to your face, you know. And that was the only time I felt really claustrophobic, because you have to have the mask on your face, and it like, you know, you know, there's, you can breathe, your nose is unobstructed and all that, but it's right up against your face.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting, I remember like lying there going, oh my God, I can't stand it. I'm like, just calm down, you know, because you have to lie there till it hardens or whatever.
That's when you have to have that gel in your mouth for dental procedures, so they can take a hold of your teeth.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm gonna choke.
Horrible, right?
Well, and I remember thinking, thinking, how am I going to do this every day for a month? And they're like, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be, So I had to just play all these mind tricks with myself. Like, you're going to be okay. You can still breathe. You can breathe. It's incredible, what goes through your mind, But yeah. So I think when you go to do the MRI, that you have to fill out the thing every time. But like, if you had MRIs before, list the time and place. And I'm like, I have had so many.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you. Yeah. Because I had a whole bunch of my head, and then I had one of my back and one of my knee, and it's like, believe me, I'm okay. You can just do it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, at least you remember stuff. Every time I go to a new doctor and you have to fill out, a thing. Have you ever had surgery? Well, I remember the surgery, of course, but you're asking me what year?
I know. I always think I need to keep a notebook.
and B, where?
Yeah.
And one of those I wrote about. I said, I think it was in this year, somewhere in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. And like when they ask you, how many X-rays have you had this year? I don't know.
You don't remember?
Quite a few. Simon Med said, we don't have any records of her having X-rays last year at all. 2023.
Mm.
I was like, I told the guy, the insurance company was, I complained about having to be there for so long, and are other places available in my area where I can get an X-ray? And they took that complaint seriously and contacted. I've gotten 2 letters about it and 2 phone calls about it, because Simon Med said she hasn't had any procedures like that here. I'm like, and I told him they are so lying, because I've had other tests there too,
Yeah.
And I said, and if, and this is a huge if, I didn't have an X-ray there, it's because I got so fed up, I decided I didn't need one and just had the doctor do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of doctors' offices, they have their own X-ray stuff. Even if you get an X-ray, they say, we'll do our own.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did that to Beth. She got an X-ray, and the orthopedist wanted to do another one. She's like,
we do our own X-rays. And I'm like, what did I go to there for,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
unfortunately, usually the insurance wants you to get an X-ray before you go. And,
Yeah. But
I'm gonna have to do something like that for my knee. I have to talk to my doctor, because, when I bend over to fill up my cat's water bowl, my knee's like, So I'm like, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I'm getting old and creaky in my old age.
I like the fact that my insurance took what I was saying seriously.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. And I also like the fact that I found someplace else to go.
Yeah. I went to have an X-ray for this hand, and I was like, I found this place way out, but I was like, I think it's worth a drive. This is nice. It's not so bad. But one of the things I'm thinking about since it's the new year and I have all this, I don't know what, but I'm thinking about my own channel.
We've been trying to get you to do one.
What do you think?
Yeah,
I'm a
because
little
then
nervous
you
about
can. Well, the nice thing about that is you can hold it up close to the thing, and people can see what you're talking about in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you can have just a little bit lengthier talk about whatever.
Yeah.
And you can bring stuff like your sock machine and.
I could video that. Yeah.
You know, just I think you should. I've thought that for a while now.
Maybe I will.
Huh?
Maybe I will. I asked.
Yeah, there's.
I could call it Tim's other sock. Tim's second sock. No, but I've thought about it for a while. I don't know. I guess part of me, I mean, I don't feel that way about this channel, I guess, but I don't want to feel like I hear like a lot of content makers, they're like, you know, like it's like hard to keep it up and.
But you don't have to do it every
No, I
week.
don't have to. Yeah. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, because I know some people who do a video like once a month, or or every couple weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And some people who actually say, I don't know, last time I did a video it was like some time ago. So it's all just like what you want to share with other people.
Yeah.
And say, hey, look at this. This is what I've been doing lately.
Yeah.
You know.
You're always intimidated. Like, is anybody even interested? But I mean, look at us. We talk about nonsense every week.
I'll say, I don't care if they're interested or not. I may have 3 followers, whatever, but I just want to talk about it.
So yeah, maybe I'll do that this year. I was talking to a friend of mine at work who's starting a podcast, like an audio podcast, and she's just starting it, and I'm like, good for you, girl. You need to go.
One thing I've been watching a lot lately, and I don't know how I got on the kick, but is on YouTube watching first time watching such and such reactions.
Yeah, those are fun reaction videos.
So some of them are good, and some of them I'm like, oh, you're just talking too much. I'm gonna change it, because like a couple of them I was watching, like one where some guy, he's like he was like a military expert or something like that. I don't know what. And so he was, talking about the accuracy of this channel. I mean, I think he was watching Saving Private Ryan. And so he was talking about like
whether it was real or not.
Yeah, how realistic it was or whatever, and some things, where he was saying yes, they were good, and like one of them, he was talking about, of course, the guy who was driving the little landing boat they were on, and he was talking about, they were about to land, and he was saying, God bless you all, or whatever, I don't remember. And then, of course, they dropped the thing, and then everybody was, was shot. But so this guy was talking about, well, there were, I think he was saying something like that there were, I think, British sailors who were taking them to the beach, or I don't know what. But he was talking about, there were more than just the Americans, people, soldiers on the beach. And like,
everybody knows that.
Yeah, everybody knows that. But
it's about a group of American soldiers.
Yeah, and this is about this particular group of people, not about the war in general.
And
it's about
also,
Yeah. And so I was like, shut up, that maybe not be historically accurate, but shut up. And like there was some guy who was, he was I think a cinematographer. But so it was his first time seeing Schindler's List, and he was pretty young, not, younger than me. I'm pretty young. Everybody's pretty young to me. But so he was watching. I'm like, but then he was talking about, oh, this is a really good shot, or I like the way they did. And I'm like, but shut up and just watch the movie, And then finally, toward the end, when like. Then he was just like, oh my God, like when people were getting shot or whatever, And then by the end, he was talking, more emotionally involved, whatever. but at first he was talking about, oh, I really like the way they did this shot, and that's
Well, that's his take.
yeah, I know, but I'm like,
Then don't watch
Then
that.
don't watch them. If you don't
That's
like to
yeah.
listen to them, why are you watching?
but
So,
yeah,
in that vein, I have the extended versions of Lord of the Rings, all 3 movies, and as part of the Blu-rays, there's one that you can watch, which is watching the movie, but
With
you
commentary.
hear the commentary from the cast. It's so great. It is so great. It's so
From the
funny.
cast or from the director?
No, well, there's one with the director and one with the cast. And the cast one is hysterical. It's so great. Because they're like, oh, you were such a baby in that scene. Or you were, it's really funny.
I love watching the things about, from Lord of the Rings, actor injuries that were left in the movie and why. Like what's his name?
Viggo Mortensen.
He broke his toe.
Right. Because it made that scene so much more believable.
Right.
Because he actually was in pain. Yeah. Or that you don't know of when Sam's character's going into the water, theoretically.
Got that horrible...
And he stepped on something and hurt himself.
Really bad.
Yeah.
He had something stuck
There was something in the water, and he.
Yeah, no, it's a big joke because then when they were running on the wharf to get away when they were going to Bree, was it Dominic Moynihan, I think, who played Mary? Mm-hmm. I think it was him. Got a splinter in his foot and was like making like this huge. Well, of course, Billy Boyd was like, he's making this big, huge deal of it. I think it was that way. Because I think that's what it is. Like, in the movies, Pippin's kind of a dummy. But in real life, Billy Boyd is like Dominic Moynihan's kind of a dummy. Like, they're like opposite. But anyway, one of them hurt their foot. And the other one was like, oh, you big baby. It was a splinter. Because then, I can't think of his name now. Sean Astin got that horrible injury. And he's like, and he was all stoic and like pretty cool about it or whatever. And they were like, and you were such a big baby. Anyway, it was really great. I love watching those.
Well, when it was, I watched a couple of, one of them, a couple of them, I don't know, of like they were watching Sixth Sense. First time watching Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah.
But they were watching like the extended version or director's cut or whatever.
The director's cut of that movie.
There's one that one version of it that has like extra scenes that were not in the theatrical release.
Oh wow.
There's like there's a scene where the mother is having a nightmare or something like that.
Oh.
And Cole, goes in and comforts her or whatever. And there's one where
No, that was in the original movie.
There was something. There's a couple of scenes that are not in the original movie. I think that were not in the theatrical release. But anyway, yeah. So.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Won't spoil it for you if you haven't seen it.
But what's funny is that, because they're like, the movies are, 2 hours long or whatever, but these videos are condensed, so the person watches the whole movie, but they only,
It's clips of
yeah. And so, but yeah, there's this one couple, it's I don't know if they're married or if they're girlfriend and boyfriend, but they're British. And so, but they watched It's a Wonderful Life for the first time, and they're like, because they're saying, I guess their Patreons or whatever recommend these movies to them or something, and they were talking about I guess because it was recommended as a Christmas movie because everybody watches it at Christmas time, and so they're watching it, and and there's all this long thing about showing George's life as a kid and this and that and the other, and they're like, this isn't a Christmas movie. Why are they talking about Christmas? It's not anything about Christmas. And they're going on about because all this stuff is happening, and they're like, this poor guy is giving up his college money and is doing this and that. It's not a Christmas movie. What is it? And then at the end, it's but so yeah. Then they're like weeping. It's so poignant, But yeah.
It was hard for me to find somewhere to stream that this year. Usually, some things, it's like they're popping up everywhere, and for you to stream, and it's like, why would I watch that? Like Bad Santa.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch any movie that says Santa's bad. Just don't. I mean, that's just not who I am, right? In a couple of movies like that. I don't watch Madeira movies of any kind. So Madeira, I don't care. I don't care because they're stupid.
You don't care.
And I'm sorry, I don't think men dressing like women is funny. I just don't. Because that is the oldest way for men to get a laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
do something else funny.
Find some other way. Like Eddie Murphy as the fat guy, that was funny. Anyway, so those are the ones I can find everywhere. But I had to really hunt for, and I never did find the newer version of Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh,
I have the DVD somewhere, but
I
the older version was, lots of places for me to watch, and which I like both of them.
I found the new one. I watched it.
On what?
I don't remember.
So
I was like, oh, it's Christmas. There's a one. I'll do that. And then I was like, this is kind of stupid, but I'll watch it anyway.
Yeah. Every year I need to watch Christmas of the Cranks.
I watched that around Thanksgiving because it starts on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
I love that movie. Hannah refused to watch it though. She declared it stupid. Actually, it's very as we call it, it's a problematic movie because it's like, why? If you just had told the truth when the daughter called, but then it wouldn't have been funny, right? But
I love the ham scene.
Yeah.
And the
I like Tim Allen so much that I like to watch that movie every year.
And I like the scenes of stuff they're doing to get ready.
Yeah.
Like with the Botox and the whole thing of getting tans. And their pastors going, hi.
So
Oh, we almost ran over Craig today at the grocery store.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Beth almost ran over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
I was zipping down the aisle.
Oh, how funny.
And I didn't even look up at him, recognize him at first. And then he said something to me, and I realized, oh, that's Craig.
And then I told some man, I said, I almost ran over you. I'm so sorry. And so then Craig gets out like that, and like I'm going to run over him or something. And then he said, well, she almost ran over me.
He's funny. Oh my gosh.
That's one of the people at church. Anyway, I think we should go.
Okay. Yeah, I've got to. Okay, don't laugh, but I have to go home and finish putting Christmas away. Well, so we decided. So okay, we had. I mean, Hannah almost had a crisis. I sent her a picture. I'm like, say goodbye to your childhood because we had this trunk. Do you remember I don't know if you've seen it. It's like straight out of 1980s caboodles. Do you remember caboodles? Mm-hmm. Those container things? Mm-hmm. But it's this big trunk. It's like trunk size. Mm-hmm. And it was green with a purple lid. Like 1980s caboodles. And it had two plastic hinges latches like this. And so it was a big trunk and had rope handles. And the lid was like this tall, so that you could stuff it and even put stuff like higher and everything. And where the rope handles came in, so there were like notches that were the full length of the box, which is perfect for wrapping paper, right? So I would put my wrapping paper there, and we just had everything except for ornaments. We had all the stockings and the tree skirts and the stocking holders and all the decorations and, not my Santas, but like everything else was in that trunk. And when we very first started, it was everything. And then, as we, got more stuff, we expanded. But that trunk was like the Christmas trunk, even though it had nothing to do, it was like so kind of ugly. And, Well, a couple of years ago, one of the latches broke, and then this year, one of the other latches was breaking, and I'm like, honey, I think it's time to replace the Christmas tree. And this is traumatic for our family. And so then we were like, okay. I'm like, can I go out? You know, Eli and I are going to go on a fact-finding mission, and we went all over the place looking for
the right kind of trunk.
the right kind of box, which were, you know, they were everywhere, right? In January 1, they were everywhere. And even like Joanne's had some big ones back then, but I didn't buy one, and I should have. And so then I was looking. Didn't want to go to the Container Store, but I was like, fine, let's try Walmart finally. And I was looking on their web, because we went to Joann's, then we went to Target, and then there was somewhere else, and we couldn't find exactly. I'm like, I'm not going to compromise. I know exactly what I want. It's this many inches long, it's this many inches wide, and I know I could order it online, but but I need it tonight so we can put stuff away. And so this was last weekend, and so Eli and I looked on Walmart's website, and I found a box that was basically the same dimensions, not the same characteristics. It doesn't have that nice little niche where the you know, the wrapping paper can go and stuff, but it was at a particular Walmart a little bit away, and so we went there and we found it. And I also found a box that is for lights. It's like a file box, but instead of a file folder, it's a thing that you string your lights on that hangs there, right? It's kind of cool. So I got that, and that's when he found the bike.
Oh.
That's why we were there. So I bought that big tub, and I bought another.
I was wondering why he was shopping that far away.
Yeah, I found the big tub, and then I found another smaller tub, like a medium-sized tub, and then I found the light box tub, and then he found the bike. So then I went, because we hadn't been to the actual dirty bottom of that trunk in 30 years, you know, we've been married so long. So we were taking everything out and finding all the little kids, you know, artwork and stuff. But I took and as we were doing it, I realized the hinges just had disintegrated. So I'm like, well, I guess it's really time. And I took a picture, and I was like, say goodbye to your childhood. And Hannah was like, so destroyed at the thought that it would not be the purple and green bin anymore. But then, so we have these ornament boxes that have the interlocking lid like that, and we have two, but they're pretty full. And then we like have wound up with a lot of overflow. So Mark was like,
So you could really put a lot of stuff in there, because if it takes 2.5 to fill it.
No. So
Okay.
the big box is still like what was in our trunk. But we also have ornament boxes that have the dividers.
Oh, yeah.
And they're full, and then we have an overflow. And Mark's like, I just put them in this box. So then I was online, because I'm like, I'm not doing that again. Everyone's put all their Christmas stuff away. But I went and I found more of that interlocking lid with divider kind of at Container Store. And the Container Store is really close to Mark's office. So he just went in. It's what he does, because like he went and found some we had some baskets, and we wanted an extra one. And he's like, I can go after work. But he just walks in and shows the lady, I want this. So that's what he did. I sent him a picture of the box, and he walked in, and they were right there. So she helped him get it. But he bought two of those, so they're brand new. So I think what we're going to do tonight is put all the ornaments, you know, kind of cull them and sort them and everything, because we have the cat ornaments, and we have our old precious ones. So I don't know if we're going to wind up with 4 boxes, but total, but we'll see. And Mark's like, I'm like, I think you actually get excited when I say, I'm going to go through something. Like, he goes, you're actually going to purge them? And I was like, yes, but do not get excited. It doesn't mean I'm going to throw anything away. I might, but I might not. So I don't want you to be disappointed just because I said the word purge and you got all excited. You gonna purge stuff? Like, stop it.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, we are gonna go.
Yes.
And I don't know if anyone noticed or cared, but I was about to Kitchener the toe shut of that sock, and then I'm like, I can't remember exactly how to start it, so I need to go home and look at my papers. So I'm like, I'll just work on this Musselberg hat. Is it mussels or fish mussels? Or what is it?
Muscle.
I haven't measured it in a while, but it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming along. All right, don't blame me if I cast on a cardigan this week.
I know you're going to cast on a cardigan.
It's hard to have all those.
That's like when you buy a new
all that
pattern
yarn
that you're excited
sitting
about,
there.
and you sit there and go.
Oh, I'm going to show you really quick my work setup. So, when I go to lunch, I take this little bag, and this is supposed to be at my office, but it wound up in there. These are headphones. They're Bluetooth headphones, so I take those with me. But this I bought at IKEA, and it is a little easel. It's got a keychain on it. It's a little easel, and what you do is you take it, you put it on the table, and you put your phone in it like that, and then your phone can sit there, and you can watch your movie while you knit. But I like it because I have this big kind of Eli has one that he used that came with for his Switch, but he uses it on his phone as well. But I found a little easel that I ordered on Amazon that folds up, but it's really heavy. It's heavy metal, and I keep that by my chair. But I found this at IKEA, and I'm like, this is perfect because it just can go in your pocket, and you can sit at lunch and watch your movie,
Or it can go on your keychain.
I was
or
going
your
to say,
keychain.
I finally bought a case for my phone.
Oh, it came. Oh, it's a kitty.
Mm-hmm. Except I want to put a pop socket on there, but I don't want to cover up the cat's face, so
Yeah.
I'm not having.
I haven't used the pop socket in a while because it prevents me from using my work thing. Ooh, this looks kind of beat up. So Mark finally's like, I think it's time for your phone intervention. And at first I didn't know what he meant because over Christmas, while Hannah was home, I told her, I think we're going to have an intervention and just tie your father up and take him to the mall and get him a new phone. Because he is so reluctant. When I bought him the phone he currently has, he didn't even use it for a week. He's like, I'm afraid of it. Or like, I don't want to switch yet because I don't know if it like you. And his is failing. And he goes, so then I came home the other day and he's like, I think it's time for your phone intervention. I'm like, why? And he goes, I was using it and I tried to print something and I had to switch print like from one printer to another or whatever. And I tried to do that and my phone made an audible noise and shut off. Yeah, I think it's time, honey. Maybe I should give him mine and I should get the new phone. That's what I think.
Yours is already set up.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. And we hope you're having a great week. Hope all your crafting endeavors are going well. And we will see you again next week.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.